Hey everyone, it's Head to Wind again in the ADV Machines Skunk Works office, the night office I guess. Been making some progress on the 990 powered Super Enduro that's getting fuel injected. Trying to get the fuel pump and the filters and everything in place that'll fit in underneath the left side of the tank, and this just so happens to be a power cell custom tank. But this is the progress that I've made so far. This is the coarse filter. This is the fuel intake side of the filter. Flows up through the filter, goes up through this, comes down to the suction side of the pump, goes up through the pump, and I don't have quite the bracket finished here, but that's going to be the next thing. High pressure line is going to come across here. There's just enough room inside the frame rail and the tank to make this work. And the fine filter before the injectors is right here. There's going to be a bracket that's going to mount between the two frame rails across here, or I'm going to try and build a heat shield that sits down inside here, kind of like the floor of the stock airbox, to try and reject some of the heat coming off of the engine. But anyway, so this line's not cut in yet. Wanted to get the brackets and stuff in place before I cut that. Then fuel flows through that over the other side here, and there's a fitting on the end here with a port, and this port is going to connect to this bad boy right here. So it's a 3.5 bar fuel pressure regulator. It's a custom part. You got to buy this. This body, like I said before, is from a Cannondale 440. But this Euro spec brand 3.5 bar fuel pressure regulator just drops right in. So this guy is going to set right up in here. I'm going to make a bracket for that, sit right next to the ECU. And this line will come down to here, and this is where the fuel pressure will get bled off and controlled by the fuel pressure regulator. And the fuel runs down this hose and up into the fuel rail. Ultimately, I wanted to try and pull the return fuel off of this end of the fuel rail, but there's no good way to do it. This is all furnace brazed from the factory, and it's a tight fit in here with all the injectors and everything, so I basically did the best thing I could and came off at this point. Just in front of the ECU, so this is a Super Duke ECU. There's going to be the return line is going to come up and dump into the top of the tank on that power cell tank, so we got a quick disconnect there. And this particular bike has an auxiliary fuel cell on the back, so we got quick disconnects to replace the petcocks. Come back over here onto this side. So it's got a CJ Racer, CJ Designs auxiliary tank on it, and then the feed line comes along here down along the frame rail, and it's going to go into this side of this T on the suction side of the pump and the filter, and then this guy tucked back in here is going to tie into this barb here. I haven't quite finished that out. And then this barb right here is going to connect into the other side of the left side of the tank with another quick disconnect. So to get the tank off, it's just going to be a matter of quick disconnect left, right, quick disconnect up here on the top, tank comes off. In and amongst all the other things that I got going on, this is my 950 that's kind of it's a unicycle right now because I got the front end off of it. But I've been gathering some bits and pieces. These just so happen to be RC8 throttle bodies. So these will actually drop right onto a 950-990 motor. These are 51 millimeter throttle bodies opposed to a 41 millimeter, and the injectors are different as well. So the idea at some point in time, when I actually get a front end back on this thing, is I might actually try dropping them on here and building a tune for it. But I haven't done much as far as the wiring harness. As you can see, it's still a bit of a shambles, but I wanted to get the majority of all the fuel systems in place so that I knew where I needed to route the wires and everything else, and I got to run wires up to the fuel pump and a couple other things. So it's kind of one thing leading to another. But had to raise the handlebars so that I could make room for the accessory switches up here. Without the riser, these ROX risers, these are 1.5-inch risers. There just wasn't any room on top of this Scott's damper to do anything, and this is a Scott's clamp and everything else, so it was a super tight fit. Obviously not intended to run the highway dirt bikes clamp and have this accessory switches and stuff in place. But so that's the update for right now. I'm going to keep working at it now that I've actually can breathe and not cough every 5 minutes or less. So talk to you guys later.